Hello there, I'm Pocket Gamer, and today I'm going to be showing y'all my Diabolical Wisp build that I've been working on behind the scenes. Or not behind the scenes, but it's more of a... I've had this build for a little while. Been wanting to make a build video on it, but I've been doing the other ones first, because I was like, there's more than enough Wisp builds. Mine's a little different compared to the others, but you'll see that in a second. First off, Archon Shards. Archon shards, I would recommend either running 4 orange that do the extra ability damage to radiation enemies, or just doing red ones, or you can do a mix like I do. And do recommend running a casting speed for casting speed. It's actually really useful. Arcanes, or arcane, yeah, arcanes. Um, Impuritas for extra ability strength and efficiency because you're doing radiation, fire, and electricity, which is like 3 statuses. So you'll get decent, not too much out of it, a decent amount. Technically, you can run Arcane Universal Fallout over that, and more augmented for just more ability strength. Running Cataclysmic Gate, which is the augment mod, which this entire build's based off of, which basically makes Soul Gate broken. I think everybody knows that by now. Everyone's heard about this augment mod and how stupid it is. Archon Vitality, which procs heat twice, which goes well with Soul Gate because it does heat damage over time. Stretch with electricity damage, so you can get more out of your shock mode. Precision Intensify for more Soul Gate damage. Power Drift isn't needed, but I would recommend for the ability strength. Corrosive Projection for Armor Strip. I don't think there's anything else I can put on there that would be goodish. There's nothing else. You could technically put Dreamer's Bond, and that would work too. If you don't want to run Corrosive Projection, because how kind of useless it is with meta. Oops, but primary doesn't really matter. I would recommend running. It doesn't matter what weapon percent. Would recommend a weapon that groups enemies up. Works really well because you can keep the enemies on the towers because they're always constantly moving around. And Probus is probably one of the best grouping enemies. This works really well with Deliberate because of the deliberate meta with the whole max stacks equals combined elements bulk, or the base of combined elements. This really works good as a status proccing, it works good as a DPS, crowd control, but this is all around a great bow and arrow. I would recommend to get it for this build. You don't necessarily need it, but it's good for the grouping. You can also run Nautilus for grouping, which most people run Nautilus for rocking, so you probably do have it somewhere laying around, even if it's not the prime variant. The Segek, don't necessarily have to use this. You could use the Grimoire and use the tome, the stupid Vomification tome, and that would probably work as well. I'm using the Segek because the Segek is basically the Gonfa Prime, but if you flipped it to where it does status, or not status, crit, give you status, and that works really well with Irradiate. And then I'm running my Zaw, which I would recommend running the Zaw, due to the fact that Exodia Contagion, you have to be in the air to throw the Zaw, and with Wisp passive, where it basically makes it to where when you're in the air, you become invisible. It works really well, and you basically allows you to be in the air a lot more, and you just get all that heavy tag damage. It's really useful. Would recommend Naramon for this build if you're gonna run Zaw. If you're not gonna run Zaw, I would recommend using Verizon for the staff. For my
Oh,
current
I shall dance with the
Naramon, I would just
shadows.
recommend running initial strike charge rate. That works really well for builds, especially if you want to get this more, because this is one of those things where you just want to use it as much as you possibly can within that. Also, make sure you do get all of your lenses equipped. It will make a huge difference with the charge rate.
You return to the fold and I rejoice.
Show you in a second with this thing. 2 different ways you can play this build. You can mix it around using the Zaw or the Segek, and then you can do a pure ability base. Either way, it works. I'm more of the ability person, but you'll see in a second. I use these pillars. I think I'll show you what the
Parting
pillars are in a
peace.
second. But yeah, this is just straight up, bro. Do a bunch of statuses and that increase in damage from what's called Breach Surge. It's really useful. I subsumed over Willow Wisp with the I'm not even gonna try to fucking pronounce it, but the pillar, which does radiation damage over time. Don't necessarily have to use this. You could probably run something like Roar or Sentient Surge would probably be really good. What else? What else? I think that may be honestly it. Could run Null Star and do some spaghetti go with Null Star like I like doing. Because Null Star does fire damage, you get more out of Archon Vitality. That's probably it, I would say. Um, yeah, that's probably it from Helmuth wise. You don't necessarily have to subsume over, but Willow is kind of useless when using a Zog because you're always in the air anyway, so you don't need that extra survivability. You shouldn't be fine, I would say. Nautilus, just status. It's nothing too special. Just run a status Nautilus. And that's pretty much the entirety of this Diabolical Warframe build. Well, I'm Pocket Gamer, and I will see you next time. If you don't mind, like, subscribe, and to see more Diabolical Warframe builds. And I will see you next time.